So as we all know by this point, Remnant is the remains of the old world, and the old world wasn't made with science or chance, but by two brothers, the god of light and the god of darkness. Everything was their creation, the plants, the environment, the humans, the grim. They dubbed it all their little experiment. We haven't seen any other planets in this series, and there's been no hint or confirmation that worlds have a natural way of being formed. So if the only way a world can be created is through the power of a god, where did this one come from? Could this world have a god of its own? And if so, could there be a good chance they're still there, watching over their experiment? This video is a continuation of my last theory. For those of you who haven't seen my first video, the link is in the description below. I talk about who the original girl who fell through the world could be, as well as the origin of the relic doors. So I recommend checking that video out first before checking this video. Like I said, link in the description below. So see you guys in a few. I also really quickly want to thank everybody who's watching this video. I really appreciate it. If you guys end up enjoying this video, you can like the video, also subscribe if you want to see more. Also comment down below what you guys thought about this theory, if it's a possibility, and if you have any of your own opinions that can maybe shift this towards the actual truth that we're going to see in volume 9. So once again, thank you very much, and let's get into the video. We haven't gotten any in-show confirmations that there are other gods in this world, but we have heard of other gods though. In the fairy tale book, an animal god is mentioned in 2 Faunus fairy tales, and fans have started to speculate if the art that we see in the White Fang might be about that god. We also hear from Ozma that there is some truth to both stories, so while he wasn't there, there's a good chance that maybe he heard the information from Jin, and maybe that's how he's able to tell what actually happened back then. But of course, we haven't gotten an in-show confirmation like I said, so it's still up in the air how much of it is true, how much of it is not. There is also another fairy tale talking about the creation of the 2 brothers, how they were once one god who was very lonely and didn't find any other person like himself. So because of that, he splits apart and becomes the god of light and the god of darkness. Once again, it's a fairy tale. The one who made that fairy tale wasn't around during that time. Of course, he wouldn't be able to confirm if that was true or not. Personally, I think that fairy tales aren't 100% true, which is on purpose. They come from an unreliable narrator. None of the people that tell us this story were there at that time, so there's no way to confirm what we're hearing or reading actually came true. I like to take what I hear from the fairy tales with a grain of salt. In the last video, I talked about how I believe that the Fall Maiden of the past entered the new world and was met with something or someone that caused her to return to Remnant a broken girl. What if it was a goddess that talked to her? Someone who had been watching our world while at the same time taking care of their own. Someone powerful enough to scare a maiden and convince them that this war was something bigger than them and they had to join it. So let's say that this is what happened all those years ago, and that there is a goddess waiting for us in volume 9. What kind of being would she be, and why do I automatically think that she's going to be a goddess rather than a god? Well, this goes back to the whole Wonderland tie-in with all the characters falling and entering a new world. There is a well-known ruler in Wonderland, one that commands respect, fear, and order, the Queen of Hearts. The Queen of Hearts is a ruthless ruler who demands everyone does as she says. With her, there is no fairness. If she says something, it is law. I could see a character acting as the adapted version of the Queen and ruling over this new world, the RWBY version of Wonderland. She would be a little different, not as unfair and childish as the Queen of Hearts, but she will still keep some of her characteristics. For starters, she will be stern, a no-nonsense character who you'll have to make sure you don't upset. She will be good though. I have a strong suspicion that while she's not Remnant's goddess, she has been watching the world and its people over the millennia. And I do even believe that her world is connected with Remnant. It's the tree. Now, full disclosure, I have not read any of the books yet, but, and spoilers real quick, I did learn that the second book has Sun telling us when he unlocked his semblance. He talked about a dream where he saw a giant tree and the next day his semblance was unlocked. We don't know where semblances came from, but what if it came from this world? More specifically, from this goddess. What if she took pity on the next generation of humans, seeing that they don't have any magic like the last generation, and granted them semblances to battle off the Grim? What if it's this tree that's the source of all semblances? I know it's kind of crazy, but these people are gods. We don't know their limitations. I think she'd want to help, but not directly. She's not leaving her world to help another, even for a moment, but she'll help with a nudge here and there. It's like an ant you feel bad for. You'll nudge them back to their anthill and the rest of their colony so they don't get lost, but you're not going to go inside your house, pick out a bunch of food for them, and then give it to them so they can eat. I also think it'd be really cool if RT played with this whole Queen of Hearts title. Just switch hearts with semblances. Like I said, I believe semblances are tied to this world, so it'd be interesting if she could boost someone's semblance, or switch it around, maybe take it away. What if someone loses their semblance to this goddess? Of course, that would be if she was evil instead of good. Another reason why I think someone like a goddess is not only possible, but is needed, is because, well, this world is very, very, very far from the main fight. There is so far nothing connecting this world to Salem. So why are we here? What's stopping this volume from feeling just like filler? I think if we have someone to talk to, someone with information on not just Salem, but maybe even the God Brothers themselves, then the story, even though we're not in Remnant, is still moving forward. We accomplished something that we can take back with us when the characters return. So just some little things that would be interesting while we're on this island. One, it would be cool if the Queen, I guess that's what I'll call her for now, took a page out of the Brothers book and tried to create humans of her own. Maybe hers have less free will and more rules. That was the thing with the Queen of Hearts. She was a ruler in a land that should not be ruled. It's why she was the villain. Also, she was chopping a bunch of people's heads. Like I mentioned before, if we did get a god who was based off the Queen, she'd probably believe that her way was the best and maybe only way, and wouldn't listen to anyone else. If she had humans of her own, she'd probably want them to follow her to the letter. 2, it'd be crazy if our heroes had to go up against this goddess. Now, I'm sure you're wondering, what can a bunch of girls and one boy do against an actual goddess? And if they went up against her head on, there'd be nothing that they can do. But it'd be cool to see these characters beat someone through intelligence instead of just battle for once. In the Jin flashback, we saw that these gods aren't all-knowing. The two brothers never noticed Salem as she traveled the world and gathered followers to kill them. They nearly started fighting each other too, back in the God of Darkness's realm. So they can be tricked. Team RWBY and John could find a way to trick the goddess, at least long enough to escape back to their world. Now, why would the Queen go up against these guys? Well, it really goes back to her only really trusting her own gut. What if she also knows about Salem's experiments with the silver eyes and says, alright, all of you can go, except the silver-eyed girl. Salem will just end up using her as a weapon in the future like all the rest. We would then have the heroes obviously say, absolutely not, and the Queen not liking others defying her wouldn't be happy about them disrespecting her. So then that's when we would get Team RWBY and John having to outthink the goddess in order to escape. So to wrap everything all up, I've said it before, I'll say it again, this new world is a great idea. It's so unexpected, and while it doesn't 100% break the formula RWBY's been, which is travel arc, kingdom arc, travel arc, kingdom arc, it does definitely shake it up and keep things interesting. And the fact that this has been planned since the beginning, that means they had years to develop this arc, and I'm only expecting great things. I only hope in this volume the girls don't just take a break from the plot to hang out in a new exciting world. Even if they do spend this time working on their inner problems, whether it be RWBY's depression, John dealing with the aftermath of having to kill Penny, Yang and Blake's uncertainty about killing Adam, they should still be able to work through these issues while also advancing the overall plot, which is defeating Salem. And of course, it doesn't have to be with the Queen, it doesn't have to be with a goddess, this whole video could be null. I just, at the end of the day, want this arc to still continue the story, still give us information about Salem, the gods, whatever we need, while at the same time being interesting, being fun, being new, and being wild. That is, at the end of the day, what I want with this volume. So that's basically it. Tell me your guys' thoughts about this idea in the comment section below. Thank you all for watching. Once again, I really appreciate it, and I will see you guys next time. Until then, bye.